Time to check in with Quincy City Council President, Councilor at Large Noel DeBona to get an update on the December 4th City Council meeting. How are you, Noel?
Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for checking in with us. We're right in the middle of the holiday season now.
We sure are, and we had some nice festivities for the Thanksgiving. Obviously we had our Christmas parade and the tree lighting, and a lot of great activities and stuff that we have. Santa coming in by helicopter and all those different things. The weather held up on the days it needed to be held up to. So another great addition to the city is the new Generals Park ice skating rink that is now opened. Took the family over there. We ice skated. It's very nice, very great addition to the city. Great amenity to have for all the residents, and looking forward to new additions and stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. Fun to see for sure. I never thought I'd see the day in Quincy Center would be skating with a Zamboni machine and everything.
Imagine, Joe, I grew up here, and having the sidewalk sale, and they called it the Quincy Square, and see it really evolve with the Hancock Adams Common and all the lights up there right now. And then you can go down to the Generals Park area, the Generals Bridge, and you have a nice little ice skating rink that we can use for the public. So we've come a long way, and these great additions are great amenities and great things that folks and families can enjoy. A lot of folks that have moved out of the city are like, wow, this really looks like a nice gateway into the city when you get off the T, or if you're coming in that center area. So this is why I came onto the council 8+ years ago, was the revitalization of the downtown, and it's evolved in Kilroy Square and all the different stuff that we have. So great additions to the city, Joe.
Yes. By the way, your prediction of a North Quincy High win on Thanksgiving came true. So
It sure was. Mikey Galligan, the junior quarterback over there at North Quincy, he was just, I saw him every week, and he just got better and better and better. And not to Quincy's bad, is they had a lot of injuries. Gabe Rodriguez, their star running back that had been great as a sophomore and a junior, had been hurt with a knee injury, and he'd been out for a few games, and he wasn't going to play on Thanksgiving. And then they had a couple other injuries, and I thought with Mikey Galligan playing so much better, and then the injuries on the Quincy side, it just went to the North Quincy side. I give Quincy a lot of credit. They actually were in the game. I think the final score was, I think, 42 to 21, somewhere around there. And they came in the game. They scored. They made some scores. So it was an exciting football game, Joe. A lot of scoring.
yeah, absolutely. And the weather was just nice too. So yeah, it was a good overall experience for a lot
Good
of folks.
overall experience. Yes, absolutely.
So I guess the major item on the agenda last night for the council was property taxes, right?
Yes, property taxes, and we went with a split rate last night. Obviously, the rate went up just a little bit, a couple cents, and from $11.13 to $11.27. On the commercial, industrial, and personal property side, it went up to $22.45, which was up, a couple cents, $22.18 from the year before. We had this problem a few years ago, Joe. Is we always had to worry about our pension bob obligation, obviously, and we were running into a factor every year. I was looking at the budgets and going, wow, we're going up, between $2 to $5 million a year just on the pensions, and said, a lot of municipalities across across Massachusetts were running into this issue a few years ago. The mayor proposed to us to do a bond, and he hit the sweet spot. We got to be lucky that the rates were really low a few years ago. Right now, you try to do this, municipalities out there, even Norfolk County trying to do this, you miss the boat because the rates are astronomically 2 to 3 to almost 4 times more than what it was 2 to 3 years ago. So we bonded it, and on the front end of this bond, on the interest and the front end, it's a little higher. So the rate, obviously, the last year and this year, we get hit a little harder with taxes because we have to pay, obviously, that bond. So it was a little higher than proposed from the last few years. We kind of knew it was coming, and then you have to think about all the inflationary issues that are going on throughout the United States, and that has played a factor into it. Our values of the houses have still gone up. 576,200 is the average single family last year. It's up to 616,200. which is the average. Some houses will be a little higher, some houses will be a little lower, just the average of that. So $40,000 increase in the values, and it factored in. Now we paid down a lot of the rate, and we paid down a lot of it by moving some stuff from stabilization funds. It was right around 4.9 million. Also some reserve appropriations, 5.2 million, that we moved over, basically to buy down a little bit of what we have to pay overall. For every million that you use, it's $25. So if we use, let's just say, for instance, to make it easy for everybody, $4 million to move over, that's $100 difference of paying less. Now this is on the average. So the split tax rate last night was a 7-1 vote, with Ann Mahoney being the person who did not want to vote for the split tax rate, or I guess we could call it the residential factor of 87.8749 for FY24. Good discussions last night with Colleen Healy, our assessor, and our COF, chief finance person is Eric Mason. Did pretty good presentation on just explaining this all to the folks, and the public, and the counselors themselves. Just want to thank them for coming in and taking the time and having their team there as well. I saw Jim Fassis from planning was there as well. Just if they had any questions and stuff. And that was really mostly the majority of the meeting.
Yeah, I would think so. So what does it translate to, Noel, in terms of average increase?
It looks like it's the average increase of about $418 increase.
Okay.
In the previous years, we're mostly in the 200s and 300s. This particular year, just trying to buy down basically the rate and move some monies over from stabilization and stuff. We were looking probably roughly over the 600 and 700 mark without moving the monies over. So we had, unfortunately, we have to go into stabilization. We had about $12.8 million in there and took out the roughly right around 5 million. So you got about 7.2 million left in stabilization. So it's still pretty good fund in there. But this particular year is tough because the pension bond that we took from our obligation that we had eventually, the first couple of years, which is we're in our second year here, we get hit a little harder. And a lot of the other factors went up in this past year. You got healthcare. I mean, that always goes up every year. Get your healthcare bill. That goes up. 3% raises on police, fire, teachers, and we had it retroed a little bit. So you have to factor all these factors in from the budget that we originally had back in May and June that we approved. So hopefully we're going in the right direction. I don't think there's any municipality out there that will ever go zero. Very hard to do. We're still below the levy of 2.5. We don't have to go to that override situation. A lot of other towns out there, remember this, Joe, a lot of other towns do voting, and they vote on the levy. They vote on 2.5 proposition overrides or appropriations for fundings. Weymouth, they had the Chapman School. Braintree, they had the schools. They don't factor that into their factor. So when they come into the Patriot Ledger, going to make an article, $280 increase in Weymouth, but they're not factoring in the Chapman School. They have to still pay $200 to $300 extra on top of that every year. Same with Braintree. They had to do an override and pay for some of their schools and stuff. So we don't have that here in Quincy. We factor it all in together. It still includes your trash fees and all these other things that we have that are included in the rate. There's no extra fees are going down to the transfer station, and like these other towns, kindergarten is still free. It's part of the budget. So all that factor goes into that. So you got a lot of other towns that will say, oh, well, we were only 300. Well, there's a trash fee that you have to do, or there's kindergarten. If you want to have kids going to kindergarten, you have to pay extra for all that. So every town is a little bit different. We're a city, and we try to provide the greatest services that we can. Unfortunately, when we get to the taxes, it's not going to be zero. I'm pretty sure zero is hard to get to, because then you really have to, you wouldn't be able to give the increases and raises, and folks are entitled to, cost of livings, and we have a lot of employees in the city. So that's where we're at, Joe.
Okay, very good. And yeah, as you say, that was the bulk of the meeting last night, right?
That was the bulk of the meeting last night. And, a couple other things is down in the downtown area, the General's Bridge area, we had some right of ways and stuff like that had been moved around a little bit. Those were approved. And we're obviously getting to, at the end of the day, was where the IHOP is right now is, possibly going to be the parking garage. We have the LDA in front of us today. Actually, right now it's going to be on the Wednesday, December 13th ordinance committee with Dave McCarthy. He's our ordinance chair. We'll be talking about that LDA and trying to get Trader Joe's in here. We can't really talk about saying Trader Joe's at the council meeting because it's, we're still in negotiation trying to get them. But I'll tell you that, it's in the paper that we want to get that Trader Joe's in there.
Yeah, the mayor's mentioned that as well. So it's the worst kept secret in Quincy.
If the worst kept secret already hit the newspaper, so I can't be, but that's why we're trying to get that in there. And it's still a negotiating process. And at North Quincy a few years ago, I talked to the developer about getting a Target or some type of thing to draw people in, and we got a Starbucks and a Target. Now we're working on trying to get a Trader Joe's. We've been talking about this for many, many years, and that would be a great addition to the city as well as having a nice Trader Joe's in the downtown.
Sure.
Because Good Health is no longer there. I mean, they went on a they went out of basically business, and they're not having that where the old Coleman's used to be. It used to be across the street, but we don't really have that type of and we don't have a Whole Foods here in Quincy. So Trader Joe's is that next best big thing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for sure. Do you think you're trying to get that done before the end of this year, Noel?
We're going to try to get that. I think we're going to try to get that done. We'll have an ordinance meeting on December 13th, which it's actually a Wednesday. And then what we'll do is our last meeting on December 18th, which is a Monday, 2 weeks from yesterday. We'll have any other questions. So we'll have our committee meeting and ordinance, and then we'll probably, if all the answers and questions hadn't been done, we could probably bring it out, put it on the agenda for the 18th. So it looks like 2 meetings to really just get all the questions out there, have a little presentation, and we want to get moving. The downtown area, obviously, I talked to Al Gracioso last night about, are you still doing roads? He goes, yes, we're still doing roads. We're still doing sidewalks, but the frost is coming. And once it gets below that certain degree, under 32 degrees, and it starts getting frozen out there, it's very hard to get into the ground. So we're running into that same factor now. We want to get some bids out there and contracting out there, maybe over the winter time, so we can really plug away in the spring when the weather breaks. So trying to get this in beforehand and trying to get the proper questions and answers that we need to get as a council.
Okay, very good. And as I understand, the inauguration is scheduled now for January 8th, 10 a.m. Is that right?
January 8th, 10 a.m. in the council, to call it the city council chambers, but the Great Hall. Little different this year. Obviously, the mayor was on the ballot, so we're going to do it all together. 2 years ago, the mayor's not on the ballot, so it's just the councilors, and we kind of had our own little thing going on at the council meeting and passing the the gavel and type of thing. This one will be everybody involved. Everybody will be sworn in. It's a nice thing, and then we're looking forward to the new year and doing that. So we, some of the councilors, there's 3 of them. They'll be reconvening for their last meeting next Monday, 2 Mondays from yesterday.
That's right. Yep. All righty. Anything else we should let folks know about right now, Noel?
Just, Joe, if we can keep the weather a little good, get folks to go down to the ice skate rink and check it out. It's really nice. They're free ice skating rentals, and then they're basically free. And it's just been nice. The little Zamboni that they have, the makeshift one with the little tractor, is great. And I believe it's 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock every day. And if you get a chance to bring some folks over, bring the family over, and some like my wife, she didn't want to skate, so the 4 of us got on the ice skating rink and were able to go. My boy Tyler, he plays hockey, so he's a very good skater. He can skate backwards and stuff, so he gets out there. He even went yesterday just to get a warm up before his practice at 7 o'clock at night. So it's been really nice and we've seen a lot of different families and a lot of different kids over there every day. So it's been nice.
That's nice. Yeah, it's a very festive setting with that huge Christmas tree and the music going. So it's a nice setting for sure.
It's really nice, and I have to give a lot of credit to the Natural Resources and Dave Murphy and Michelle Hanley from Recreation and the Parks. Paul Doherty. They've done a great job with these great amenities that we have in the city, and we've gone outside the box. I mean, we never did this before, so and to do this and provide us for the city has been a great addition. So definitely, if you're out there and you're listening, take the family out there. If you don't want to skate, just see it out. We also had the General Parks tree lighting, and that was really nice the other night. Unfortunately, it was really raining and pretty hard, but that's lit up too. So it's really nice to look across the way and see all these nice great additions to the city.
Yeah. And of course, I know you're involved with veterans issues, Noel, and Pearl Harbor Day is just a couple days away.
Yes, it is, and the city. Unfortunately, we've had a couple passings. A Guy Ferris just recently from the Marset Legion. He's been a great, just a advocate for veterans all the time. And then Christine Cagini of Veterans Services, she's done a fantastic job. We got to see also the Reefs Across America. That's going to be on the 18th, I believe. It's a Saturday. So these are great things for the city. We take care of our veterans. I talk to Mayor Koch all the time about how we really symbolize and do we continue to do our Veterans Day parades and our ceremonies, which a lot of towns discontinued and don't do anymore. So really care about our veterans.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor Day this year is going to be 10 a.m. on board the USS Salem at the Quincy
Salem, yeah. So
Shipyard.
we're going to have a joint with the Braintree as well, the town of Braintree. So it's right on the line there as well next to Weymouth and Braintree as well. So it's going to be nice.
Great. Appreciate the update, Noel. Good to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Joe. You have a great day, and thank you for everything you guys do over there at QATV.